Thank you very much, everyone. Again, Tahidelis, again, welcome everyone. Again is one of the very beautiful moments, very touching back to our own treasure of the beautiful nature, the innate nature, or in the Buddha teaching often said, the Buddha nature, really very touching to our Buddha nature, which is one of the beautiful things that we can do in our lives. Of course, we have so many beautiful, important things we do, and we will do, and we are doing, but among that, touching to our own treasure, of our own heart, treasure is the most important. It's standing very tall among all our activities, really. It is also very powerful things all the time, not just once in a while or a short time, but touching to our own heart and developing the good qualities with heart and mind. According to the great teacher Buddha Shakyamuni teaching, it will continually brighten up our lives and our destinations. Not just only ours, but also for all the beings too. Some really because of our bodhicitta motivation, our kindness, our understanding, what we got, with wisdom, knowledge we received from the great teacher Buddha Shakyamuni and all the lineage masters. If we put that kind of as much as in touch or put in our heart, it really is so powerful, so benefit. It's rewarding. Rewarding, it is soothing. It is also healing. It's so powerful. So therefore, again, it is a very beautiful situation. For that reason, again, we're going to aspire ourselves with joy and appreciation, ignite those qualities. At the same time, bodhicitta, kindness, compassion, thought, for all living beings without any boundaries and restrictions. And then trying to see also things are everything is a purity state according to Vajrayana teaching, and that's of course we practice the Vajrayana teaching. Mostly us, we are practicing the Vajrayana teaching. Vajrayana teaching often said everything is enlightened status. Not just that we are, I mean it's true, I'm not just that. But for that reason, we immediately visualize or be ourselves as a different Buddhas, known as visualizations. That is our practice. That is the goal. We like to become, not just become the deity, Buddha, short time, or well, we have good concentration, we become the Buddha, and then we can't fall back to where we are. No. We like to stay in that state exactly as it is. That's the Buddha told. Everyone is in that origin status. So those all kind of good those thoughts, the motivation is really important, and so necessary, important. And with this, then again we go the great chief master, Dudjom, teachings on this, that which is known as heart advice for the fortunate ones by His Holiness Dudjom Rinpoche or Dudjom Rinpoche. And this is very short. Of course, we see it's quite short, but it's really touched to the core of the very practice that what Buddha taught. Of course, in the Buddhism, there is a practice such as starting the Buddhism as intellectual levels. But this is not just an intellectual level, it's observing the knowledge of what we learn into the heart and the mind to make benefit. This is a very powerful instructions, something that we can touch and keep easily and improve. So we are going through this. We went and we are going through that slowly by slowly in a more, also kind of like in a way, meditating status. Short time explanation or talk as a reminder of our practices, then practices. This we are kind of alternating the teachings and the practices, and as part of the big goal as healing practices. Healing practices, not just a healing for what is happening situation now, but healing for all the difficult troubles, uproot the first true noble truths, suffering truth, cosmic suffering truths. That's the really we are doing these practices. And then eliminating that or dispelling that. For that reason with these practices. Now we're going to do this, as we mentioned, the whole practice can be summarized as into three novels. Beginning novel, middle noble, and concluding nobles. And the beginning noble is the motivations. Again, they activate the motivation, such as foreigners such as thought, taking refuge, developing the bodhicitta, and with strong devotions. As kind of devotion is topping of the practices. Have that really kind of sizzling quality of the devotions combined together. That means the all is completely connected, not something separated, but devotion is on the top. And that's what we're going to inspire ourselves. We're going to also see that how precious it is, how important it is, how richness is. Every aspect is richness and it's so precious. Lineage is so precious. Teaching is so precious. Buddha Dharma is so precious. Our life is so precious. Our situation, circumstance, opportunity, whatever, is so precious. The all precious are gathered to us. Bundled up we are, really, completely, for our favor, our own favor, to bring the fulfillment. If we ignore that, then we are really going to lose. We're going to lose. According to the gracious teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni teaching, we've been lost so many times. From the beginner's time until now, we lost. But now we're bouncing back our own ground. And we are recapturing our dominions. We are returning back to our own sweet home, the home sweet homes. Really, that is what really is motivation. All this so important. Joy, precious, and devotions and all that. Devotion is not just kind of dogma or something kind of like dogma or kind of like higher, what they call higher or archaeology. Higher archaeology. It's not at all. We see the value and importance and precious of every aspect. That is really the devotions. Every aspect. So precious, so special, so beautiful. We don't have to be mouth-watering that to someone else. We have, each of us, we have that precious. To ignite that, recognize that, acknowledge that is our responsibilities. Your responsibility and my responsibilities. Valuing him. Because of that, it's going to make the fulfillment of what our keen interests, our keen desires. It really will make fulfillment. So, what it will fulfillment? It will bring keen fulfillment over all the 6 paramatas. Actualizing bodhicitta, it will bring to actualize it. Otherwise, actualizing will become almost a kind of lip service or mouth service. Just saying that. It's not. We're going to absorb that. And we become more practical. We have that preciousness, attitude and feelings. We're going to do something more bigger and more important, more deeper meanings. Then the wasting our whole valuable time in a situation, a circumstance, something completely kind of like short, temporary, like kind of bubble, like benefits. That is not. It's not smart. So therefore, all that motivation is so important. With that, then actualizing bodhicitta. Actualizing bodhicitta, we were talking about the 6 paramata practices. As I said in that earlier, and you all know, the entire teaching of the Buddha Dharma, that when you come to the practice, is all encompassed in the 6 paramatas. Entire teaching of the Buddha. Teachings, whether it is the Theravada teaching, whether it is the Sutra Mahayana teaching, whether this is the Tantra Mahayana teaching, all that teaching concluded within the 6 paramatas. Everything is the 6 paramata teachings. So, this time we are going slowly by slowly of the 6 paramatas. One after another, trying to bring some kind of, as I said earlier, just now, that we are doing practicing and also learning in a way. Or in the teaching often said, studying and practice together. Studying and practice together. That is what? Union as union. We're doing this Shepa and Duba or Prasad in practice for the healing purposes. Healing purpose, now what are the difficult troubles going in the samsara in the world? We're going that. But deep down, we're doing this healing purpose for all to remove the suffering, true and cause of suffering to the every living beings. Living beings. That's what really we're doing. Wider views of the bodhisattvas. So now with that, among the 6 paramata, we went first 2 paramatas, which is generosity paramata and morality paramatas. And now we are still going on the 3rd paramata, which is the patient paramatas. Patient paramata is so important, so powerful, is so crucial in samsara. In the samsara, when we like to come out of samsara. And the samsara has so many challenges, the difficult troubles that we know. I don't have to talk. It's not something that happened because the Buddha said that. It's not. The samsara has so many troubles. Really challenge the difficult troubles. We have to go jungles, ravines, and all the what's called discursive or the obstacle courses. One after another. Life there are so many troubles. Our precious life, precious time, precious situation is going through those canals, through channels, through ravines, through passages. Really good. There's so many troubles. Outwardly, inwardly. Outwardly, all those so many things, you all know. Inwardly, talking about all these emotions. This negative emotion is our own creations of the duality mind, but it's always like waiting us to attack. They are like waiting as like hyenas in the African jungles. Or they kind of groovily, looks like they're naive, they kind of timid that, but they are very ferocious. They're really going to. If you look facing to those emotions of these hyenas, they may be back up immediately and kind of goes away. But as soon as we are lost the mindfulness and we distracted, it come back and attack. That is really this samsara is just full of that. We have to. Now we're doing this patient practice because uproot this negative emotion, fundamentally speaking that. Fundamentally or generally speaking of that, we like to uproot this. And therefore, then we have to be courageous. We like to fulfill the 6 paramatas, like to fulfillments. How important generosity is. That teaching said we went through those. So important. It's really so important. And then the morality is so important. Immorality encompasses entirely teaching of the Buddha teachings. But if we don't have the patience, even with the practice of the generosity and morality, we are knocking down all our efforts, all our, in a way, joyful walks, we really smashing, knocking down by our own self. Therefore, patience is so important. And that is, of course, we went through this. Now, I go over those, so I mentioned to you, and also you know, it's not that something I tell you, I said to you, and then you know that, or you knew. That's not the case. I'm telling you that because I'm reminding what I learned from my teachers, and as well as from the books. And also you receive so many teachings from many great masters, and you read the books too. So we all know this. It's not something that we don't know. It's the kind of, we know it's kind of in a way our memories. All is in our fire of the memories. But today we are trying to bring up this. Because of the opportunity, because of the light of His Holiness, Dongyal Rinpoche, Orgyen Menla teaching. So we bring up that up. So we talk about this among the 6 paramata, patient. Already I said. So now I'm going to this patient. Again, as in the teaching said, patient can be divided into 3. First is, I already said quite 3 times. Yesterday or the day before, even yesterday, that patient can be, it is divided into 3.
First one is never mind, patient of the never mind. That's what I'm translating. I'm translating. Otherwise, in Tibet, it is Nobzila Jiman Nyam Zoba, or Lord of the Zoba, Lord of the Zoba. So that means, again, if I translate it literally, trying to translate, that means patient those to the harm doors. Patient to the harm doors. That is what is the first one. Second is patient of the willingness to take the, or patient of the willingness to go challenges, or the troubles. Or in other words, is in the teaching also said, Chusala Kapje Zopas. Patient for the Dharma practices. Patient for the practice of Dharma. That is Chusala Kapje Zopas. Third is Sami Pona Matapa Zopa. In Tibet. Have I translated that roughly into English? Said, not scared or patient of not scared with the profound meaning of the teachings. Meaning of the teachings. Profound. So those are the three divisions of the patience. First is mostly kind of related with it on the surface. First one is that challenge is on the surface, in a way. There's surface of on the subject, and surface that in the object, and surface that in the subjects. And object level is challenge that coming from the outside, difficulties outside. So this is out, object as object. And challenge that coming from inward is our own emotions. It's kind of interrupting. Also, not opposite, but erupting. It's erupting. Erupting. Bouncing up, edit up. So there is a challenge both out and in us. We need to count the challenge of this. In the teaching said, the challenge is not just going to come by only from outside. We think, oh, that person is that, or someone did obstacle, or someone did this. But there is no, what they call here, Zen coin said, there is no sound of the one palm, or clapping one palm. There is no sound. It's true, there is no sound. Two palms, if claps, of course, sound comes, but one palm, there is no sound. So there is nothing really welcome, only outside. When it comes, what in here in the Western says, 50-50s. Almost these 50-50s. If we like to pay, maybe, or we like to be reasonable then, maybe then 40s, 60s. Or 65 and 35s. That's just really, we are making compromise too much. I don't know if we met with kind of voting. I don't know if we're going to win. It's going to say, it's fair, it's 50-50. 50-50. So that means, when we get like upset in emotion, it becomes, oh, that person did this and that kind of like, almost we are blaming to that person, 100% the one trying to. Reality, it's not exactly really like that. So therefore, we have to be fair. This is according in the Buddha teaching, said, the more kind of practical, intellectually trying to bring more patient. How we bring the patient? Intellectually this. Intellectually trying to bring. We compromise. We're smart. We're educated. We're knowledge. Trying to compromise. It's true. It's not making up things. It's not true. It's true. So we have to compromise. Compromise that. And so it's mostly 50-50. On that 60-40s. And then now, if we follow with that reason of the 50 or reason of the 60, some reason, and we clash with that. then what it becomes? Again, think. Intellectually, analytically think. Then it really created troubles, as we went yesterday and day before, you know, Then it created big troubles. On this surface level, on open level, it created trouble. Trouble, it destroyed the harmonies, destroyed the peace, destroyed the friendships, destroyed so many things, one after another. That destroyed. Maybe those, for example, we say that we analytically, again, we say 40 and 60, and they had 60 kind of like maybe errors, and that, but 10% we overstepped it and did, and actually we destroyed. So that is not wise, not smart. For small purposes, small gain of the short time, maybe, and destroying the big things for long range, that is not walk of the smart. That opposite of smart, what is that called? If I say the name, I don't know many people like that. What's called? Polish, no?
Foolish.
Polish or fool. Fool. I don't know if we're going to put to now name to ourselves or Polish. Polish. That is not a correct name. And they won't like that. But whether we like or not, if we do that, really when we kind of fair, intellectually, analytical everything, we are making not a smart choice. And then deep down, according to Buddha teaching, then we create the karma. Big karma. Heavy karma have to pay. Even the anger itself, what in the teaching said, anger is the primary cause to go the 3 lower realms, to take the birth in the 3 lower realms, particularly in hell realms. The anger is the primary cause of that. Not just in integrations to Buddha Shakyamuni teaching, don't mention the get anger with those humans or the someone, but even you get anger with the piece of tweet of the firewood. Tweet of the firewood. If you get anger, it is not wholesome. It is unrighteous. There is beautiful stories in the Buddha teaching. I will tell that. This is again, as we all heard in the teaching, the Buddha went to the heaven to repay back to his mother. Mother is kindness. Because mother was passed away 7 days after right Buddha Shakyamuni's birth. The prince's birth, she passed away. When she passed away, she took the birth into the heavens. So, when she born, she took the birth into the heaven. Immediately, she had aware where she come from, what situation that happened. In the Buddha teaching said, immediately those gods have the capability to see their previous lives and all things. So she see and she saw everything. And because she saw the Buddha and she that in the teaching said that many times she are kind of supporting, helping, watching. Well, Buddha is meditating 6 years in Bay of the Narendra rivers. That all the time she was helping and supporting. So anyway, when Buddha reached enlightenment and become all that when they giving to turning the wheel of Dharma and all that, and then one time, I'm very short, that Buddha went to the heaven and did the 3-month rainy season retreat up to the heavens. And then Buddha stayed a little longer than after finishing the retreat into the heaven. So in the teaching said all the human disciples in the human world, and particularly in the Shavasta area, so many devotees are really miss the Buddha And Buddha can be just, and everyone started asking where is Buddha, where is that, and then he said that Buddha is meditated all up in the heavens. So then one time they came to the Mongol Putra, who is also that time, who was in the Shavasana, Jetavan Grove, and he asked the police, asked to, Mongol Putra is among all the Buddhas, Arhatas, or the disciples, he had the most power of the realizations, or spiritual power, or the miraculous powers. So they came to Buddha, Mongol Putra, asked, please, would you go to Buddha and tell to Buddha we miss so much? And we heard you in God's realm, but God can come on this earth to visit us, but we can't go to the heaven to see the Buddha. So therefore, think of us and please return to this, that. And so Mongol Putra went immediately. In the teaching said that youth, healthy person, youth, healthy person, like moment scratch the hand, like arms scratching and bending, that duration of that, Mongol Putra can go the whole 1 time or 3 times, the whole universe 1 time. He can go in that moment. So he has more speed of light, more power than the speed of light, that he can go that moment. So then the Mongol Putra accepted the request of the devotees of the Shavasana, he went into the heaven. And we informed that, and Buddha said, yes, I will come this day and all that, and they come back, Mongol Putra come back immediately and informed that. So they're so excited. So that's the reception of what's called the anniversary or the celebration of the Buddha descending from the heavens. So when Buddha descended from the heaven, there is the teaching says there is a very, very famous Naga king of Naga. Naga king is known as Eli Dhamma. So king of the Eli Dhamma, Naga king. And what that means, that he was this Naga king, he's the king, but yet on the top of his head, growing tree. Top of his is growing tree. So he's a disciple of Buddha too. He was. So he liked to come to see. But he don't like to come to see Buddha in his really forms, his own forms. He liked to come to see Buddha. He emanated or changed his forms and like to come and to receive the Buddha. So he changed his form as magnificent of the universal king, very majesty, holiness. So he came and begging for the reception of Buddha from the heavens. Everybody started looking, who is this person? They never know that. They never know. They never saw that. Many people kind of talking that. But anyway, so Buddha came. Finally, when Buddha came down, and everyone was joyfully received. And there is another story there too. Very Arhata Upali is a female Arhata Upali, and she also changed her robe because she can change through her meditation power, and she can change her forms and different kind of take the form like emanated forms she can take, and she came emanated form. Why she did? Because she said, we women are always second kind of lines, and when Buddha comes again, of course we can be at the front row of the lines, and we have to be second. So today I'm going to change my form and receive Buddha immediately at first. So she changed the form and that. So anyway, that's another story. But anyway, so when that come, and saw everybody, and then Buddha came, and Buddha saw this universal king looking, and Buddha welcomed him, and he welcomed Buddha. And the Buddha said, why you don't come with your own forms? Our gracious teacher, if I come my own form, no one will be happy with me. Instead, they will scared with me. No, they won't be scared. You should show your own form. That will help to the others. Others. Because that will help others. So as the Buddha encouragement, he showed his early forms. So then they see big tree is growing in the head of the big kind of like serpent-looking forms. And Buddha said, look at this. Why? They all said, how that happened? Why is that happening like that? And they all started, and Buddha said that. Ancient time, second Buddha, or third Buddha, of the 14th Buddha, the Kashyapa times. And there is one hermitage monk who is meditating on the jungles and the woods. He's meditating on the wood. One time he's coming to the city or some reason he's going through, and that his robes are caught by the twigs. And he walked fast and it tear the robes. And he gets so upset with that tree or that twig, he cut it. Because of that anger, he said that because that even he born as the king of the Nagas, yet that karma couldn't leave because of that. So that's the really teaching, that anger has no values. Of course, we won't see that immediately. But consequence is so deep and so strong. Therefore, again, then, believing on the teachings, and believing on the karma, believing on the cause and effects, and be mindful, is the then practice of the patience. And then another analytic way, thinking that. And what the great Master Shantideva said in the teaching. And so why you get upset with the others? They said, and of course we say they or that he or she hurt me. She hurt me. That's why you get angry. But then when you get sick, you're not getting angry. When you get sick, ever I say word use, and they didn't say in the teaching, but ever I say, when we get sick naturally or we get sick, we're not angry. We try to solve the problem or cure their sicknesses, not get angry. Angry. So that when we say, ask it, so because when I get sick, I don't get angry, I have no choice. No choice. I get sicknesses. But when the other person does something to you, so you get that anger to that person, but that other person's really is not the primary cause. What is the cause? Their emotions. And we really like to challenge it, like to be challenged or like to hurt. You have to hurt to the emotions, not the people. People that has no choice become as serving tools, as a robot by the negative emotions. The fundamental cause of that what other person did is the negative emotions. So then, what point? Instead that, feel compassion. That is good. There's a sick of the negative emotions, intoxicated by the negative emotions. And therefore, that people is acting that. And that people is doing that, is creating negative karma. That one individual, instead of getting anger, feel compassion. That's the reason I have to activate my passion and bodhicitta in order to benefit to this, all the sick persons. Sick persons. Same way, when I get sick, I'm not getting angry myself. I like trying to cure the disease. Cure the cause of that disease. Trying to medicine, whatever that is. Same way, help to that. With your love, your kindness. And we are able to do that with our mindfulness. That is the supreme practices. what great Master Shantideva said, there is no bad karma than the anger. There is no supreme virtue than the patience. Therefore, every means of the techniques preserve the patient. That's what really, I'm going to translate it roughly, that verse. Sit. If we do that, we are the bodhisattvas. As for the day we were talking, sattva, courageous ones. Truly you are keeping up the identity of what you are. The warrior, or we are keeping up our warriorships. What that will do? That will please all the Buddhas and all the bodhisattvas, our Lokiteshwaras, Manjushiris, Vajrapanis, some of the bodhisattvas, some of the Bhadras, and the Sai Nyingpo, Drapa Namsara, Nampo Nyingpo, all those Buddhas and bodhisattvas are happy. And they are doing clapping, greeting, really be fulfilling, beautiful goal. Truly we aligned on the climb of the warriorships. How wonderful, how beautiful. At the same time, we are purifying negativities, our own karma, negativities. We are accumulating the merits. We are getting closer to our origin, final destinations. Wow, wonderful. Really, it's beautiful. That is what is known as these patient practices. So those are the analytic way to do that. Then, more meditatively, absolute or more kind of more absolute level, where that anger is coming out, or my anger is coming from. It's not from emptiness. Really, emptiness. So all the tools of teaching that you received from the Madhyamaka, from the Dzogchen or Mahamudra teachings, immediately catch up by mindfulness, alertness. Bring that. Let it go. Dissipate it. And that is known as patient practices. Patient practice. What the patient practice? Again, say this like never mind, or the patient for those who harm doors. Doors in the teaching is not disturbed. Not disturbed. And also not returning. So that means not what they call the normal language, what we call in the samsara, revenge. Not disturbed, not have the thought of revenge, not holding the ill thoughts at all. Let it go. These three are known as the perfect quality of the patient, never mind. Then many times in the teaching said, how we get upset or angry, many times in the samsara is, oh, that's individualist, like hurt me in the past. And that individually hurting me now. That individual has planned to hurt me in the future. That individually hurt my friend or my sides in the past, and again, present in the planned future. That individually have been so nice with my opponents past, and also nice now, and also I'm sure that person will be continued in the future. Kind of having all those kind of different thoughts of the analytic kind of circling in the illusory thought of the duality mind of the ego clinging, and then anger's attitude circling that is known as ill thought, not wholesome thought. For if we started thinking those and get upset, angry, that what it does in the teaching teaches it really will completely destroy our constitutional body too. It brings unhealthy. Our spoil all the elements. Our complexion become ugly. And can't sleep also. Even it disturbs the sleeping. And then it creates so big karma, heavy karma for the future. So all those things, there's so many beautiful teachings. When you read the guide and ways of the lives of the bodhisattvas, really, just so beautiful, so practical, and so smart, and also so compassionate, so loving kindness, So absolutely based on four boundless and those Tungni practices as we're discussing them. That's the one. Those are the practice of the forever. If we don't have these like Bodhicitta in the teaching said about. And they said, and if we don't have, even we have all the very kind of high teachings, the deep teachings of the Dzogchen or Mahamudra or the other teachings, that it really won't work. It won't work as what we thought like to be. So therefore, what the great Master Padma Samye said, as I said earlier, I'm sure you also know too. If you have one thing, it will be enough to reach enlightenment. It's Bodhicitta. If you don't have one thing, no matter how much you have, you say, I have this and that all become intellectual and just on the surface. And not thinking, it's not going to get anywhere. Therefore, that is what is Bodhicitta. And for that reason, please be cherished and honor and keep Bodhicitta as core of our heart. Those are the teachings said. So that's what so important. And now this is the second was for this patient. Like first patient I spoke, the first one. Second one is patient for the practice of Dharma, and patient for the not scared with the profound meaning of Dharma. Profound meaning of Dharma. And so those two are, I will again continue to talk tomorrow. So I think it's taking time, but thank you, okay? Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. And you participated, and thank you again. Thank you for your passion. Thank you.